Imagine finding the house of your dreams in the place you always wanted to live for a budget that doesn't break the bank. Sound impossible? What if you could truck the house you want to the section of your choice and maybe save money along the way?
Oh, that's my lounge. Love it.
You got your ass on the seat, we're rolling.
It's a journey that can be fraught with anxiety.
What's that?
Pressure.
There's only inches in it, Leo.
Oh my gosh.
And stress.
Yeah, I got some very unhappy people up here.
Is all the trucking, trauma and tension really worth it?
This time on Moving Houses, a Scottish couple has found a property to make them feel right at home.
Everything here is like real similar to Scotland. The weather's the same. Well, yeah, it's cold.
But the house they want faces a 600-kilometre journey to get there.
But this width, you're not going to get any further in the South Island for distance.
Even the truck has a fight on its hands with this one.
Brakes are getting hot, mate.
You can smell the brakes in the trailer, so we don't want brake fade.
So is this a battle the owners can't win?
I think I'll have my head in the sand.
Can you watch it? No, too stressful for me.
So come along for the ride. This is Moving Houses.
The house moving business must be one of the most can-do industries in the world. If your house is too big to move, well, you can cut it in half. Too big and too tall, you can cut it into quarters. If it's across water, you can put it on a truck and then put it on a barge. But what if you buy a section at the bottom of the country and the house you fall in love with is over 600 kilometres, 2 mountain ranges and half an island away?
Scottish migrants Gordy, Debbie and son Jamie live in nightcaps right at the bottom of the South Island.
We arrived in New Zealand 15 years ago. We were on holiday passing through and we never left. In Southland, lived in Southland the whole time we've been here.
Lovely lifestyle down here. It's just the peace and quiet and the tranquility.
With a love of the deep South's wild coastline and natural beauty, truck driver Gordy and mum Debbie have dreamt of owning a farm and raising their boy in the region's rugged surrounds.
Jamie, he's 12. He absolutely loves driving the tractor and the digger and the farm stuff. He loves doing that, yeah.
Now that dream looks set to become a reality on a site just outside Tuatapere, an hour from Invercargill and a 15-minute drive from here at Te Waiwai Bay.
We bought an amazing place with huge potential. The site's in an elevated section and you can look onto the sea, Stewart Island, this ocean view here with Te Waiwai Bay. Just takes your breath away. Doesn't matter how many times you look at it, you just stand back and say, wow.
Debbie and Gordon's site sounds like heaven on earth. This I've got to see. This part of New Zealand is stunning, with the scenic Southern Alps out to the west and the full glory of Fovo Strait right on the doorstep. It's not just famous for its views, it's renowned for its wild weather, with chill winds hitting 70 knots in the strait as I visit the hillside site at the top of a steep clay track. It's so bracing we could be in Scotland. I love it.
Everything here is like real similar to Scotland. The weather's the same. Well, yeah, it's cold, but I think the view overpowers all of that.
Yeah.
We can put up with everything else.
Yeah. So how big's the property here?
We've got 131 hectares. Goes right over the horizon there, out of view. Yeah.
Debbie and Gordy bought the site to farm part-time for $650,000 in 2018.
We were looking for a bit more land. We never intended to build here, but we were here a few times and it just grew on us.
Excellent. You've found your little spot down here in the bottom of the world. Let's talk about what is going to take place right here.
The house has got to go in this part here, looking over to the sea there. We opted for a transportable home just because it was a done deal and nice and easy and quick compared with builders.
So now they're planning to put a turn-of-the-century villa here that they found 600 kilometres away in Christchurch.
The house we're getting is we both went into it and straight away we both knew this was the house.
So Debbie, was it easy for you to imagine the home here when you first came up here?
Yeah, just perfect, yeah. Especially on a nice, beautiful, sunny day.
And so, Jamie, what are you most looking forward to about getting a new home out here?
Just living on the farm, just being able to go out and do what you want.
And so you're prepared to sort of help Mum and Dad bring this dream to life?
I hope so.
Only concern we have is getting the house up that track.
To reach this stunning piece of land, the home will have to be dragged up this steep incline.
Let's talk through that process, because some of the houses that we go to is pretty straightforward. House turns up, drives onto the section. Whereas here, once the house gets to the bottom of the road, it's going to need quite a bit of help getting up the hill.
We've just got to hope it's a dry spell, because if it's wet, it's got to be, a few hairs less on my head, I think.
It took them almost 2 years to find the right house, but eventually they came across the answer at King House Removals Yard in Christchurch. And amongst all the different homes on offer, the moment I see this villa, I know it's the one.
This is our new home, looking good.
Looking good.
We wanted a decent sized home, 3 bedrooms plus, quite modern, open plan living area, nice kitchen, nice bathroom and reasonably priced. We walked into the villa and we just loved the place. It was just beautiful, yeah.
As soon as we walked in through the doors, it was just, this is for us.
The 110-year-old villa looks like it's seen better days, and I guess we'll find out if it can take a Southern Ocean storm.
And so have you guys had experience relocating homes before?
No, I've had no experience whatsoever. This is totally new for us.
Are you guys quite hands-on? Are you going to be doing a lot of the reno and bits and pieces yourself?
Simple stuff we'll probably do, but any real tricky jobs, we'll get someone, a proper builder in to do it. We've always got to try and keep the costs to the minimums. I don't know if because we're Scottish, but we just don't like spending a lot of money.
All right, Debbie, let's get down to business. How much did this home cost?
Well, including GST, it cost 180.
So move on site and onto piles, is it?
Yeah.
For a 110-year-old solidly built villa, to buy that, have it move 600 kilometres for 180K,
Yeah.
that's pretty remarkable, really. I can't wait to see inside.
Let's go round the back and have a look.
Okay. Oh, wow. And here we go. It's so much more open and feels wider than it looks from the outside standing here. I guess you've got that classic villa look from the front and then this modern addition down the back end here.
Yeah, I think this is what we liked about it, just walking in and seeing this big open space.
The kitchen has been modernised over the years, so it's in pretty good shape. It looks straight, it looks good to go almost.
It does, yeah. Yeah, this bit's perfect, I would say, yeah.
We've got to put a window in across on the west wall there, just to open it up and let more light in.
Split by a long corridor, the villa has 3 generous-sized bedrooms on one side and a bedroom and a bathroom on the other. And while it's incurred a few cosmetic bumps and bruises over the years, it's a charming house with some lovely period features. Everywhere you look, there's such ornate detail in it and such good nick. This would have been where the old fireplace was. Unfortunately, the fireplaces have been removed. Brick chimneys can't be relocated intact, so they were taken apart when the home was first moved onto the King's lot, not the Gordy mines.
I'm not wanting them in, but Debbie wants them in.
Debbie, you feel quite strongly about the fires?
Yeah, I do, because I think it brings the character back into the house, yeah, so that they will be getting put back in.
It's the only thing we disagree on is that fireplace.
And you think you've addressed those old villa drafty cold concerns?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. We've got to have different things put in place, like underfloor to keep the place insulated. We have got the radiators coming in, so we can turn them up a little bit if we need to. Through time, I think we'll get it pretty good. Yeah.
One thing Gordy and Debbie do agree on is that they want their new home on site as quickly as possible. So Kings have just 2 days to get the house ready before moving it to Tuatapere. The man tasked with making sure that the move goes without a hitch is King House Removals owner Grant. He's done some long moves before, but even by his standards, this move's a beast.
So around about 600 kilometres on some pretty tight, narrow roads. We're going to go over the Lindis. It's quite a steep pass. And then we've got the Kawara Gorge and the staircase around the lake at Wakatipu. So, we've got a few obstacles on our way.
At 10 metres wide, Gordy and Debbie's house can be transported in one piece, sparing it the more expensive process of being cut in half and reassembled on site.
We don't have to worry about any scotias inside, or wiring or plumbing, so we just leave it all intact.
Height constraints on the road means the roof has to travel separately. So to make sure the villa arrives in the same number of pieces it leaves in, Grant's team tension a wire around the whole outside of the villa to make up for the lack of structural support once the roof comes off. With nothing holding it back, synchronised hydraulic jacks lift Gordy and Debbie's villa into the air. And with the house jacked up, the 70-tonne load can be lowered down onto the trailer and the roof removed.
We had it all braced up so that if the weather's pretty average down south, we can crane the roof back on and get it weather tight pretty quickly. But it's all done, tyre down and lights on the load and we're ready to go.
Grant's worried about the weather. With a load this size travelling 600 k's on these roads, I'm picking that won't be the only challenge ahead. It's moving night here in Christchurch. We're raring to go, but our trip from here to Debbie and Gordy's site has just got 120 kilometres longer.
So this is how it's going to be over the next 5 days. 2 trucks taking the house, one with the house and the other one with the roof. Now just the house is 20 metres long, it's 9 metres wide, and it weighs over 70 tonnes. Now that has meant that it is too heavy for some roads. So Grant has had to make a plan that goes inland, but it adds over 100 kilometres to the journey. So this is not going to be a fast ride by any stretch of the imagination.
Grant's new route takes us overnight to Omarama before tackling the dramatic Lindis Pass in daylight to Cromwell for a proper rest. The next leg heads through the Kawero Gorge to Lake Wakatipu and around the Devil's Staircase. From there, it's down through Southland, almost to Invercargill, and across the southern coast of Te Waipounamu, the South Island, through Riverton to the base of Gordy and Debbie's property. From there, it's all uphill.
It's quite an incredible feat. I'm just trying to get my head around some of the roads that we're going down and the distance that we're going to travel.
It's a long way.
Okay, so on a scale 1 to 10, how difficult is this particular move?
Oh, it's getting up there. It's going to be an 8 anyway.
How often do you take a house this far?
Not very often. For this width, you're not going to get any further in the South Island for distance.
It's 10:30. We've got 7.5 hours to get the 320 k's to Omarama before we have to be off the road for morning traffic. I'm travelling in front with the house tonight, with the roof following behind.
So big deep breath, and we're off. The start of it all. What are some of the problems you think we're going to be looking at ahead here?
Like trees, low bridges or high-sided bridges, and weather.
So the weather really is a factor?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the weather can knock us back. Generally, before the rain comes in, you get a headwind. That just can slow us right down because we're already pushing enough wind with the width of the house.
It's 500 horsepower truck will get knocked her out.
Oh, you really knock us back. It'll knock us back, 50 or 60 kilometres an hour.
Wow.
If it gets gusty, like real strong, we'll park up.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but the weather forecast's not looking that great.
Yeah, no.
To get to Omarama by 6 a.m, we need to be travelling at roughly 50 k's an hour. That doesn't sound fast, but when you're hauling a 70-tonne load, there's plenty of stops and starts. Simple things like intersections turn into major undertakings. A couple of delays, and you're quickly behind the 8 ball.
600 on the giveaway left. 500. 400.
And the high-sided Hakateri Bridge slows us down to a crawl.
This bridge would be easy to go across except for all of the street lights, which means we're having to zigzag in and around because, of course, this load is 9 metres wide and it hangs out over each side. So around this way, back around this way. It's just as well they're not there in the same spot. Make life very difficult.
But Grant negotiates it successfully. And now, 4 hours into the journey, I'm hoping for an uninterrupted run.
So this is something that doesn't happen every day down here. We're actually going past another home on the back of a truck coming this way.
We reach Fairlie at 3 a.m. We've got 130 kilometres to get to Omarama by 6. I'm optimistic, but there are bollards lining the street.
Drop your front. Don't worry about your back because you've got it back.
And big speed signs that can't be taken down. So we rely on the pilots to get us through.
Right. And good length, mate. Straight through.
But it's slow.
You might hear them on the comms giving the distances on each side. So between those two speed signs, 400 on one side, which is, 40 centimetres. It's not a huge amount of distance when you're dealing with a building that's 70 tonnes and 10 metres wide.
So far, Gordy and Debbie's precious villa is holding up, and so am I. But at 5 a.m, with only an hour till we have to get off the road for morning traffic, it's really going to be touch and go whether we get to Omarama on time. And now we've hit fog.
If this fog gets any worse, we're going to have to pull off to the side of the road.
We have to drive agonisingly slow. Precious time ticking away. But at 5:50 a.m, with only 10 minutes to spare, we make it. A major relief.
So here we are. We can't go any further, it's 6 o'clock. This is us for the night. 320 kilometres though, still, it's not a bad start.
That's almost halfway, and it's bang on Grant's target. We've got 3 hours for a power nap before we push on over the Lindis to Cromwell.
This is where we ended up last night, or Marama, the place of light, having arrived here in darkness. But we need it to be light now to see where we're going, over the Lindis Pass. And in places it is very steep and windy. But it is the only option for Debbie and Gordy's 70-tonne home.
And as we pull away, the fog is back and intensifying.
You know, of all of the things I sort of was mentally prepared to stop us or hold us back, I didn't actually put fog in the equation.
Legally, we need to be able to see 500 metres ahead to proceed.
What do you think, Grant? Is it getting better or worse?
Hopefully when the sun comes up a bit, well, if it does come up, burns through a bit.
But it is rolled in thick right now.
It's times like this our pilots are literally lifesavers. Out in front and behind us, they keep traffic out of harm's way. In the fog, they need to be on the ball, or the consequences could be disastrous.
Lead on. You had to see comes on your 17. Clear.
Some refrigerated trucks that can't pull over very far for us, you know, they've got hanging meat. And when they pull over, it all hangs to one side.
Oh, right.
So they can't pull over very far. Go, blue sky.
Yeah, there she is. Blue sky ahead. Oh, you wouldn't have picked that 200 metres ago, would you?
Not at all.
Come on, son.
We might be in the clear, but we're straight into the Lindis Pass.
About 5 or 6 k's of winding and climbing ahead of us to get up and over Lindis Pass.
It's one of New Zealand's most beautiful stretches of road, but that beauty comes at a cost. The roadside is lined with warnings of slippery surfaces, sharp corners, high crash rates and steep descents. It's an area Grant's crew have had close calls in before, and it'll test the limits of his 500 horsepower truck.
It's a good lesson in what can happen when you just lose a bit of power. Slipping one gear on a steep incline like this, you lose all your momentum. And a truck with, how many gears in this truck? 72? And a truck with 72 gears means you have to go right back down to the lower ones and then work your way back up. It's almost like a moonscape up through here, isn't it?
It is.
We're just about to crest it.
Just about it.
There we go. We're finally our first bit of downhill in quite some time. And now the problem becomes trying to stop this thing.
Downhill is a whole different game. Grant has to concentrate on keeping the 70-tonne load at a safe speed. And on a long downhill like this, that can be hell on the brakes.
I don't care how long it takes to get down the hill as long as we get down safely.
Right, yep.
Brakes are getting hot, mate.
No smoke, is it?
Yeah, quite a bit.
I smell the brakes on the trailer, so we don't want brake fade.
Brake fade happens when the braking components no longer generate the friction needed to slow a vehicle.
Brakes are starting to smoke real bad now.
Grant needs to decide whether to pull over or keep going. There's no cell phone reception on the Lindis, so we're on our own.
You're probably better off still moving, aren't you? Just keeping it low gear, not using your brakes.
Yeah, well, we are just about down in there.
All right, so the call's been made. We're going to keep going, even though the brakes are overheating. So we're just going to chop down into low gears, reduce ourselves to a crawl, and try and let that airflow cool the brakes down. They've been working overtime with this heavy weight, pushing everything downhill.
And traffic is starting to bank up, which adds to the stress. And Grant makes the call to pull over, let the cars go, and give the brakes a chance to cool.
Yeah, mate. I'm good. Yep, getting through there.
As soon as we stop, the smell of burning brake lining has filled the cab.
With the traffic passed, we're off again. Grant's comfortable the brakes have cooled enough, and with the cab free of the smell of brake lining and only 45 kilometres to our destination, we can all breathe more easily. Oh wow, look at this. We're about to arrive into Cromwell. It is absolutely stunning. I'm just hoping that there's something with a bed for a bit of sleep. So this is the end of the night for us.
Yeah.
All right, so the idea is go somewhere, have a rest.
Yep.
10 o'clock tonight, we're back doing it again.
Yep, and see if we get to Invercargill.
Still got Devil's Staircase and then Gordy's driveway.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 big obstacles remain. It's 10 p.m. We're in Cromwell, gearing up to take Gordy and Debbie's villa across the bottom of the South Island. Well, Gordy, I'm here to give you the good news that we are over halfway, so it's now officially easier for us to come to you than to turn around and go back.
Oh, I'm going to let you turn around in the back.
Look, I bet the boys are well rested. They've slept through the day, so we're about to head off from Cromwell, and hopefully by tomorrow morning when you wake up, we will be one big giant step closer to you.
Oh, yes, so that'll be good.
Right, night 2. Right, so what's the plan tonight?
Let's hit the Makarira for breakfast, eh?
Nakariwa.
Just out of Invercargill.
And you think we can do that one night?
We'll give her a go.
Aim high. It's another big move tonight. 225 kilometres, towing a 70-tonne house down through the Kawerau Gorge, around Lake Wakatipu and the Devil's Staircase. Then as far as we can go until we have to be off the road by dawn. First, we've got to get through the dramatic Kawerau Gorge at night, towing Gordy and Debbie's precious 100-year-old villa. It's dark, it's tight, and we're taking it slow.
400 right. Opening out, metre right. Looking good on the sides left. Looking good up top. 800 right. Opening out now, metre plus.
There's no room to pass on this stretch of road, so it's worrying for our pilots when a small truck ignores their many warnings to pull over.
Honestly, the guy who got the small truck that's coming straight for you, mate, did not stop at all.
He's still barreling towards us.
What is he doing? What a muppet.
And now he has nowhere to go. So he's gone past, what, 3 pilots?
Yeah.
With purple lights saying pull over.
And they're all waving a wand at him.
Oh, at least he can back. Poor guy's going to need a lie down after this. So we've been following this gentleman backing his refrigerated truck for a good 500 metres now. There's just nowhere to pull off or turn around. We could duck up there, couldn't he?
Duck in there.
So how often does this sort of thing happen?
Not very.
Not very often? It's one more delay on an already big journey. Our next challenge is the Devil's Staircase. Beautiful by day, but in pitch black darkness, we have to take it super slow. In places it gets so incredibly narrow. We're inching our way around, and it's like this for the next 20 kilometres or more.
Metre left.
Wow, this is getting tight now.
There's not a whole lot of spare space, is there?
No, Grant, no, there's not much room for movement at all. I mean, look at this. That is tight. So we're down to a crawl now, and now it's just a game of inches.
Can you back up your left side, please?
We're just leaning the house away from the rock. Every time there's a creak or a crack, you sort of hold your breath and hope that it hasn't come up against anything solid. And this is where you really got to trust the guys at the back, sending all that information forward about where the house is in relation to this steep cliff face, basically. Woo! It's moments like these where you're thankful that the homeowners, Gordy and Debbie, are still several hundred kilometres away, because if this was my big asset and I was seeing it right now, I'd be so very nervous.
Keep going up, mate. Still coming, mate.
So we're through.
Through.
They're the worst of it.
Yep.
Well done. After the staircase, we leave the lake. It's 1:30 a.m. with the place they've planned to pull over for a day's shut-eye in their sights. Grant's got the bit between his teeth. It's good wide country roads through here, and at this hour, there's almost no traffic. But man, making good progress and well ahead of where any of us expected. He's making the most of it though. He just keeps going.
Yeah, we might carry on.
I'll just carry on. And going. So we're just on the outskirts of Invercargill now, which I didn't expect to be saying till tomorrow night. We get all the way through to Riverton by 5:45 a.m, 15 minutes before our dawn curfew. Pushing through has shaved a whole day off our journey.
So we do well.
We did do well. From here, rest up, 9 o'clock,
Yeah.
assess and go again.
Yeah.
I hope Gordy is ready for us.
I feel like I need to ring Gordy and tell him, give him a fright. Guess what? We're just up the road, mate.
A mere 3 hours later, we're back again with less than 40 k's to go.
So it's just after 9, and we're starting again, back on the road.
Our first obstacle is the Riverton Bridge. It's moments like this I realise the phenomenal size of our load.
Moving towards you guys. We're about 700 above the bridge.
But it's not the bridge that's tricky, it's getting off the other end.
Good on that pole, mate.
And Grant's brother Warren has come out to help guide Debbie and Gordy's villa safely between road signs on one side
Clear of the widest point.
and retaining walls on the other.
200. Opening out 300 now on the pole.
We would have just taken one parked car and it would have been a real hassle, eh?
Yep, right.
Riverton to the site is less than 40 k's, and Gordy is still expecting us tomorrow, so I better give him a heads up that we're only half an hour away.
Hey, is that Gordy? Hey, Gordy, it's Clark speaking. How are you? I've got some good news and bad news, and it's both the same. Are you ready? We're nearly there.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, this is quite a moment. We've actually turned off the road onto the final push up to where the house is going to be.
Gordy makes it just in time to see us arrive at the bottom of the hill.
Just unbelievable. I can't believe the house is here. When the house turned down the drive there, I just felt my stomach, thinking it's here. Yeah, it's just amazing.
So the big turn-off into Gordy's driveway. After over 700 kilometres, we're here.
Such a big drive. It's astonishing we've made it a day early.
I'm actually speechless. What an effort. Yeah.
But the elation is short-lived. The arrival of Gordy's dream home has coincided with his worst nightmare.
From the very first time that I met you guys and came here, your one fear was the weather on the day.
Yeah, worst fear was this. This is just horrendous for us. Just terrible. It's forecast for the rest of the day. But this is Southland weather, so
Yes.
we'll just see how it goes tomorrow. We've got the gear for to tow them up. It's just something we've got to have to address.
Yes.
But the house is here, so I'm not worried.
I mean, it's part of that emotion, just that moment of realising that you're going to put a home there for your family to make something of.
It is, yeah. It's really exciting now.
No, I think about what this dear old villa's been through. Such a tough life in recent years, sitting unloved and unused on the yard with such an uncertain future. To now be here on such a beautiful site and so close to its final destination, I could feel Gordy's emotion in it all. And it's going to be a wonderful story once we get it up there.
But we're not there yet. Tomorrow's slog up this big, muddy hill might be the toughest part of the trip so far. It's 8 a.m, and the team face a mighty task to get Debbie and Gordy's home up a steep incline, around a hairpin bend, and onto their hilltop site. More rain overnight is causing Gordy and the crew a few headaches.
Just 25 mils I reckon they've had, but everything's looking pretty boggy, so this next part is going to be a real challenge. Gordy, normally it's quite comforting to lie in bed at night and listen to the rain on the roof. What were you thinking last night with all that rain coming down?
Oh, I think that rain gave me nightmares. Yeah, it was, last thing I wanted was the rain. It's just got to make this job real hard today.
The first job of the day is getting the roof craned on. That means they'll only have to take one truck up to site, not both. Too many wheels tearing up the muddy track will make it impassable. But crucial traction is being lost on the wet ground trying to get close to the high ab that will be doing the lifting.
Go on, Grant. Go on, Grant.
The truck's been through a lot getting Gordy and Debbie's home this far. Now it's under pressure again. Seeing their precious cargo struggle to even make it out of the paddock can't be filling Debbie with much confidence.
You've just turned up for the most nerve-wracking part.
I have, yeah. I'll be quite happy when we get up to the top of that hill, but until then I'll be a bit on tender hooks, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
A stressful 15 minutes later, Grant seems satisfied with where they're lined up.
We just wanted to get it in close so that the crane could reach. So I think we're far enough out and we'll start craning the tops back on.
With the truck out of the mud, the team get busy reattaching the roof, which gives Grant his first chance to have a look at the track.
And so you think that this is enough distance for the home to get past?
We just want to keep up the high side because when you start breaking traction, the truck can start sliding.
I reckon this hairpin at the top here is also going to be a problem. Then I spot something up at the site that seems to have been overlooked.
You haven't got it pegged out.
No, don't worry about that. We'll just get a rough guide and she'll be fine.
So you're comfortable just sort of, you know, lining it up and going, yeah, that'll do?
Yeah, I'm happy for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are here, you've got a view. So we'll just get her close enough and she'll be fine.
That seems a little loose to me. But there's no time to change Gordy's mind. The roof's on the house now, and Grant's team is ready to tackle the last steep section of this epic move.
Ah, so here we go, eh?
Yep.
And straight away, first corner, the truck struggles with the wet ground.
It's, yeah. Never expected it was got to be 70 odd tons, and you can see the truck sinking in.
And that's why you hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. A bulldozer Gordy's had on standby is hitched up to try and pull it round.
I think I'll have my head in the sand. It's a big house when you see it on there. At least we've only got one truck to come up. If we had two trucks coming up, it would be a whole different scenario.
It's an impressive sight, but an enormous weight. Even with the bulldozer, the truck is struggling. And we're not even at the steepest part yet. It's a slow, painful climb. And I don't know who's feeling the stress more, Gordy or the cable straining with the weight of the house and truck.
I'm not too sure, Clark, about this. It's apprehensive at the moment when it's sitting like that.
It's struggling now. Ooh.
Now we've stopped. On its own, the bulldozer isn't enough. It just doesn't have the guts to pull the house and truck up the steepest incline.
Plan two.
Plan two?
I need to go and get my digger, and I'll hook my digger on the front of this, and then we'll try and bring it up with the digger as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That wasn't part of the original plan to here, though, was it?
No, it wasn't, no.
Gordy reckons his digger has seen better days, so will it have enough grunt to help his house up the muddy track?
Are you confident once the digger's in line that we'll get it?
20 tonne is a good pull.
Okay, so we're adding at least another 2/3 pulling power, and hopefully that's enough.
We'll see.
And meanwhile, you're in the back trying to manipulate this house around the back.
Yeah, steer the wheels around the corner.
You've got a little bit on your plate, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So now we have a significant tractor, 20-tonne digger, big bulldozer, and then a great big Mack truck. If that's not enough, well, I'm not sure what we're going to do.
The extra haulage comes with extra health and safety advice. It's pretty simple. Stand clear.
Keep away from the chains. There's always the weakest link is the chain. A strop will go straight the way it's going, a chain will go either way.
Here we go.
Slowly and reluctantly, the house starts groaning up the track.
Who'd have thought at the start of all this that we'd need a tractor, a digger, a bulldozer, and an incredibly powerful truck just to get the house up here. But that's the sort of effort it takes when you're dealing with roads like this.
But there's another problem.
The digger's starting to fade.
And we're in trouble.
It's taken 2 hours to get 200 metres. so we're doing around 100 metres an hour. And there's still another 500 metres to Debbie and Gordy's site.
So we use the dozer for this wee pinch up around here.
Why not put a tractor on?
Yeah, no, bloody. Every little bit helps.
It's, yeah, it's a bit more than I expected, but
Most important question, how's Debbie doing in
she's
all
gone. She's hiding up the top.
She can't face
No,
it.
she can't face it now.
Yeah.
Well, Debbie can't face it, and the digger's been ditched, leaving us with just the tractor and bulldozer to get up the hill.
Getting there slowly but surely. Yeah, we're on the homeward straight now, so that's good. Yeah, quite relieved.
But that final tight corner comes back to haunt us.
The truck has completely lost traction and they can't get enough of an angle on that bulldozer to pull it far enough forward to bring the house around the corner, if that makes sense. So they've had to bring the tractor up, you can see it in the background. They're going to hook that direct to the trailer and try and pull the whole thing straight, then bring it around.
Can you watch it? No, too stressful for me.
We've now got two vehicles pulling the house in different directions in order to crab it around the corner.
So this is actually quite a pivotal moment where the truck looks like it's getting traction on this next part of the driveway, and that's what they were really hoping would happen. But it was a little bit drier down there, and that it's able to pull itself with the bulldozer, and it looks like we're in business.
Grant still needs to negotiate the half-completed driveway along the top of the narrow ridge. Gordy's up front in the tractor, and the stress is showing.
It's arrived. 700 plus kilometres, a hell of a steep track, a tractor, a digger, a bulldozer, a truck with its diff lock on, and we're here.
Now all we need to work out is where to put it.
Looking at the front of the house, I think it needs to...
You're talking about lining it up with the driveway, right? So it comes
line it up with the driveway,
and,
yeah.
and flows into the house and then out. So just around this way.
Stand back, Gordy.
Don't mind us, Gordy.
Stand
We're
back.
just discussing where your house goes.
It's just,
Nothing to do with you.
Gordy, it's just the front of the house. I'm wanting it kind of lined up near with the driveway.
My view was that we've got to look over Oropuke and looking onto Stewart Island. The side windows we're going to have, I'll take the view into the left-hand side.
I mean, at the end of the day, you are spoilt for choice, and this is what's causing this discussion, right? The view is magnificent in all directions. If it's really an issue, Debbie, I guess you could push just for bigger windows.
But Debbie gets her way, and Grant moves the house 4 metres to the right. I can't wait to get inside.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. Wow, now framed by a house.
All the hassles in the last few days, this is worth it, just to see this view.
What about you, Debbie? What did you think walking through the door?
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's quite good that we've got that judged right.
Moving this house that extra 4 metres, that definitely was the right decision.
Master bedroom in here.
Glad to see Gordy being gracious in defeat. I wonder how the rest of the house has held up.
So it looks like there was, what, a little bit of movement during the move?
Bit of jib board was cracked. It's not a big job to refix that. The damage is quite minimum for the whole house, really, considering the torture we put it through.
That's well phrased, the torture it's been put through.
Yeah.
There's a bit to do to make the house livable, but they knew about most of it when they purchased. Top of the list, ceilings to repair, fireplaces to reinstate, and replastering walls. The plan is to move in just 4 weeks.
That's a tight time frame. Do you have faith in local tradespeople that this is going to happen?
Oh yeah, with the tradesmen we've got are really good, so yeah, every faith that they'll turn up on time and get the job done.
No pressure, but I can't wait to see what they do in that time. The house still needs piling, and the roof needs to be finished to keep out those Fovo straight gales. All I can say is good luck.
Gordy and Debbie shipped a beautiful 110-year-old wooden villa, a staggering 720 kilometres it ended up being, all the way from Christchurch to here in Tuatapere, to one of the most exposed sites in the whole country. Now, when I left them, they were determined that they would be living in the house within 4 weeks. But that was in June, and the rains had started. So I've come back 6 months later to see how they've gotten on.
The earthworks out front make me think that, well, there may be a bit more to do. The site looks as stunning as ever, with the house perfectly positioned for those epic views. But the blue tarpaulin rather hints that there's still some work in progress. And the planned deck out the back, well, that hasn't eventuated yet. And while the house now sits on piles, it's in need of some pants. I'm worried I've turned up a bit early.
Hey, Debbie.
Oh, hi, Clark. How are you?
It's so great to be back here.
Yeah, it's
Hi,
great.
Clark, how are you?
Oh, Gordy, how are you?
Good, good.
Great to see you.
Great, isn't it? Beautiful sunny day.
Has the sun always been shining?
No, the sun's not always been shining, I can assure you that.
Talk me through what's been happening.
The true winter of Southland approached, and we decided the next 2 months to 3 months we're just going to hold back a little bit because the weather was just against us.
We were all ready, then COVID came along. I think we were in lockdown for 2 or 3 weeks, was it?
In Southland here we were.
Yeah, so that delayed it again, but that's all right, we're in now.
6 weeks ago we decided we'd move in. We've just kind of been moving forward since then, so slowly we're getting there.
How has the house stood up considering its exposed position?
We just had a little bit of water come in the living area. It was in the flat part of the roof. Carpet was right underneath, so we lost the carpet. But we're doing as much as we can ourselves, and the reason for that is just trying to get skilled staff now in this remote area. It's quite hard, and we've just been let down a few times.
Still an unfinished project, but still plenty of drive and passion to get it there and get it done.
Every week we're getting things done, and it's feeling more like home every week now.
It's not on a budget. We're just being real conservative how we spend our money.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen a budget what's been done. It just, when we can afford it, we'll do it.
You know, obviously, as you've expressed, it's still a work in progress, but you're waking up here each morning, you're having a cup of tea with that view, so I can't wait to hop inside and have a look.
Come on in, Clark.
Let's have a wee look.
Heading inside, Gordy and Debbie have got me fearing the worst.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great. Home.
But what I see is that they've turned this house into a warm, welcoming home.
Amazing.
Amazing, eh?
Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Back on the lot, this recent extension was a bland blank canvas. Now, filled with Debbie and Gordy's possessions, it's an open and inviting space.
What was it like when you got to spend your first night up here?
Like home now, yeah.
And what did you think when you woke up in the morning?
Oh, I just thought, oh, this is the right place.
And so how have you got on, Jamie?
It's good. I've settled in quite well.
What's the best thing you like about living here?
Be able to do farm work and ride my motorbike.
Are you proud of all the work that's gone on here?
Yeah, it's amazing.
The old master bedroom's been completely rejuvenated.
I can already see what I was most intrigued about in here. The fireplace survived.
Yeah, it's in where it belongs, eh? Looks pretty stunning, doesn't it?
There was quite a good heated discussion as to whether the fireplaces would stay or not.
Must admit, I think it finishes the room off. It's a part of the villa.
Given she also made the call on where the villa was placed, it looks like that's 2 from 2 for Debbie. But Gordy's picking up points for his DIY.
Because obviously he had the big area where the chimneys were to fill. Man, last time that we had all the plaster coming out of the walls and everything else. And now it's your bedroom.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to figure out now what I put in to finish this off, but we'll get there, we will.
The bathroom's in great shape. And the other bedrooms are ready for a lick of paint when time allows. Now winter's behind them. They may have a lot on their plate, but it's definitely going to be worth the wait. Is that what I think it is?
It is, yeah.
Oh,
It's
fantastic.
beautiful.
Oh, this is perfect. I'm so happy that you brought a plate of cheese rolls out to round out my visit here. To now be able to sit at a dining table and see your couch and pictures and everything else, and it feels like a home here. Livable. It's amazing, really.
It is, really, yeah. That's within a year, isn't it?
It just blows you away.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
This is the reward, what we're sitting looking at here.
It's just lovely, isn't it? And as we go into summer, obviously you guys have a list of things to do that's a mile long, but you'll get to really enjoy the fruits of all the hard work and that slog through winter to get here.
That's exactly. Summer's round the corner, so summertime's a great time to do everything.
Debbie and Gordy bought their house, had it moved to site and piled for $180,000. Living here, between the sea and the mountains, caps off a dream they've had since they moved to New Zealand.
I guess if everything in life was easy, it wouldn't feel as rewarding. And speaking of which, I have a small gift, a little something to remind.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. It's perfect. You've got a digger on it.
Oh, isn't that amazing? Thank you very much.
I'm
That's
not
just-
sure that I will ever have the experience again where we required each one of these vehicles
Yeah.
pulling in unison.
Thank you very
That's
much.
quite clever, yeah.
That's just amazing, yeah.
I've sampled a few of these classic Southland delicacies on our travels, and this doesn't disappoint.
Right, that's a bit of garlic. Lovely. Good cheese roll.
Thank you very much.
Debbie and Gordy have big plans. There's solar panels to install, landscaping to be done, and a house to finish. But if there's one thing I've learned about this family, it's that if there is an obstacle ahead, they'll find a way to bulldoze through. Sometimes quite literally.